Well, hi there and welcome once again to Burton on Humber. I hope everybody's had a good Christmas break. You got lots of things that are nice for Christmas and had a good time with family and so on. And all set for New Year's Eve. I thought over the Christmas break I really just wanted to take the opportunity to get organised a bit with the railways. I've been in the house about 6 months now. With that in mind, a couple of weeks ago I got these display cabinets put up on the wall. So I thought as I've got the other cabinets up in place and I've now filled those up with the locos, what might be nice to do for the video is to do a fleet video. So with that in mind, we'll have a look at what's in the cabinets. Okay, so looking at the first cabinet there, we'll start off with the first loco, and that's the Class 33, and that's a Lima loco, and we've got a second one here. I picked up both of those off eBay at one stage for 12 quid. I basically picked them up to practice weathering on, so before I sort of mess around with expensive locos, I thought I'd practice them on some cheap ones. Haven't done that yet, but we'll be doing so in the future. Okay, then we have a Bachmann Class 105 there, so with the yellow half ends. The idea was I'll use that on my 1959 layout. I'm not quite sure whether I'm going to be doing that in 00 gauge now as opposed to N gauge, but we'll see. But I grabbed those just in case. Then we have a Class 03, that's by Bachmann, and that's actually fitted with sound from Olivia's Trains. Then we have a Bachmann Class 40, quite like these locos. It's not one of the new ones, so it's not DCC ready. Okay, then we've got a Heljan DP2. This is one of the newer locos that I've got. And I grabbed this one simply because I just really like it. It's got beautiful detailing on it, really sort of quality feel to it, very heavy. And yeah, just a really nice loco. Okay, then we've got a Class 08, and it's weathered. It's by Hornby. Moving on, then we've got a couple of N gauge locos there. So we've got a Class 20 and the Class 03. So if I move back, you'll be able to see the difference between the 00 and the N gauge Class 03 there. The 03 really is very dinky, but a nice little loco. Okay, then moving on, we've got an MPV. I just find these really interesting. I quite like network rail vehicles. It's something a bit different, a bit of a pain to get those fittings on the back, but yeah, I still like it. Okay, then we've got a little N gauge, or N scale rather, Class 08 for the 1959 layout. And then because I've got just some room in the cabinets, I've got a few vehicles around as well. And this vehicle here is an ambulance that was from Neil and Amy, from Neil and Amy's Model Railway channel. And yeah, just really nice people, and gave me a nice present there, so really appreciate it. Okay, then we've got a Pacer there, so that's by Hornby, so a Class 142. And got those simply because, well, you just got to get one. And then I have a East Midlands 153, and they actually do come into the Grantham station, which for the loft layout, my mainline station, we based around Grantham, so I grabbed myself one of those. Then I've got a little IKEA truck there, just from somewhere in China, but 176 scale. Then a Network Rail van, then a Postie van. Okay, then I've got a Class 153 in Northern Rail livery, and this is the first loco that I got that was made sort of in the modern era, and it's again from Olivia's Trains, fitted with sound. Obviously this will be special to me always because it's the first sort of loco that I bought that's made in the modern era. Okay, so the second cabinet is mostly dominated by DRS stock. So up the top there we've got 3 DRS liveried Class 37s. The one at the very top there has got the special lighting on the front. It's got a custom nose end, and we've got another one down here as well that's also got those same lighting and the custom nose end. So they sort of run as a pair. Then in the middle here we've got another pair, which are actually the twin pack from Bachmann. They're the Kingmore TMD twin pack, which I managed to get hold of from somebody in Florida, of all places. Worked out cheaper though than buying it in the UK. Then we've just got a little N-scale BSO DRS coach there. Then we've got a nuclear flask wagon from Bachmann, and that's obviously to go with the DRS, so that's where they started off with. And then we have Lord Hinton, and this is again one of the very first locos that I got. I know that there's precedence for the DRS 37s travelling on the Barton upon Humber line, and this is the first one that I got, and it's again fitted with sound, and yeah, just about my favourite loco really. Okay, then we've got a Class 47 DRS, this is by Heljan. I got this from the DRS shop itself, and yeah, just a really nice loco. Then we have Lima Class 20 DRS. This is one of the special ones that actually travelled across to the Balkans, I believe, with some sort of relief package. And it's by Lima. I'd like to get one of the Bachmann ones, but I haven't managed to get hold of one of those yet. They're quite hard to get hold of. Okay, then we've got a Bachmann Class 66. And again, with a DRS flying compass livery there. And really sort of a favourite loco as well. Then we've got a National Coalboard Sentinel. And then we have a Stobart Rail DRS 66. Again, from the DRS shop. And want to get a hold of one of the Malcolm ones as well at some stage. Okay, then we've got a Class 09, which is a mainline livery. I probably won't ever really run that livery as standard, but I really just wanted to get the Class 09, just a little bit different, and I might sort of run it as a preservation loco at some point, and just in the loft layout, which is basically just for running what I want, you know. Okay, then we've got a GBRF 66. I see quite a number of these come through in the Grantham station, so I wanted to grab a whole one of those. And I'll use that for the loft layout. And then we have another Sentinel, which is the ESO one, so the Catwater, and that's the first Sentinel that I grabbed. Okay, so that's the second cabinet. Okay, so the third cabinet has a lot of your HSTs and Class 91s and so on, so intercity sort of trains. The very top one there is the Network Rail new measurement train HSTs. I really like that particular train, and I've got the 4 coaches to go with it as well that are available at the moment. And then we've got a Grand Central HST, and I've got a full rake of coaches for it as well. If I get a little bit closer in there, then we've got an N-scale DMU. I think this might be possibly a 108 DMU, and that's with the speed whiskers at the end of it, and I'll use that on the Bartlett Humber 1959 layout. And then we've got another DMU. I'm not quite sure, maybe this might be a 101 possibly. And it has the half yellow ends. And the good little runners, they've got lit up headboards there and so on, so yeah, really quite impressive for the N-scale locos. Really nice little locos. Okay, then I've got a Class 91 Battle of Britain. I really like this. I got this through Model Rail, I believe, as a sort of exclusive. And yeah, just a really nice loco. Okay, then we've got the Flying Scotsman 91, which I did a review on a while back. I have one of the standard livery East Coast 91s on pre-order. Okay, then we move on to a loco which a lot of the UK people probably won't be familiar with. This is a GP9M. It's in Wisconsin Central livery. I've been very much influenced by one of the YouTube users called ChessieFan2. He's one of the first YouTube guys I came across that did sort of model railways when I first started looking into them again, sort of 18 months ago, and I really love his channel, and he sort of influenced me a bit, and I've ended up getting a couple of the locos from his chosen region and era, simply because I've grown to quite like them. And then we've got another one down the bottom here, so this is a Kato SD40, and just a really nice loco there, a sort of American one. This one's, as I say, GP9. This one is made by Walthers, who are probably more familiar with making buildings, but yeah, this is one of the locos. Then in between the two, we've actually got a Bachmann EWS 66 that's factory weathered, and you'll see there's similarities between the liveries there, and that's because Wisconsin Central actually used to own EWS, so they went with a very similar livery before EWS got taken over by DB Schenker. Okay, then we've got a Dennis Dart there. I think it's a Dennis Dart 200. Okay, then I have a Class 31 Network Rail loco. Again, there's precedence for this running on the Barton & Humber or the Barton branch line, so I grabbed hold of one of those as well. Okay, so that takes care of all the locos in the cabinets. We'll move on to a couple of the locos that didn't quite fit in the cabinets. Okay, so just sitting here is a couple of the locos that didn't quite fit in the cabinets. As I say, I might get another cabinet in the future to put in the excess. I've got a couple of locos on order at the moment. I'm getting a DB60 and also getting one of the new Bachmann 150s. So I'm going to need more space, so I'll get another couple of cabinets and probably put them on this wall over this side, which is above my desk there. But meanwhile, there's these couple of locos that didn't quite fit. This one is a Lima Class 40. I grabbed this one first, then later on I had an opportunity to get a whole one of the Bachmann ones, And it's not a bad loco. Yeah, so I'll probably just run the two of those, convert them across to DCC at some stage. Okay, then we have an SD45. This is in Burlington Northern, and it is by Athearn in this particular case. The reason I got this is not for the loco itself so much as it's a contingency plan for the Class 91s. They struggle a bit to pull their coaches, and apparently the chassis on the SD45 Athearns are very similar to the Class 91s. These are run Coco bogies, so 3 wheels, whereas the 91s have 2 wheels, but the 2 wheels are spaced quite widely apart on the 91s. And on the Athearn's SD45s, the middle wheel is not powered, so you can sort of remove those wheels and do a conversion, and it's sort of a backup plan so that if I do struggle to have the 91s pull the coaches, I might convert them across to using the chassis from the SD45. Okay, then, well, just here we've got the diorama that I originally made with a little pannier tank sitting there. Okay, so we've moved downstairs. As I say, I don't really collect a lot of steam. I've just got a small fleet of steam locos. Upstairs in the cabinets I keep all my diesel and electric locos, and the steam didn't quite fit in there, so I just have it in a display case downstairs. On top of the display case, we've got a little bit of railway paraphernalia. So we've got an Eastern Region guards lamp there, which is quite nice. I've got a railway spike that's for a ceremonial one. Then we've got a Pyrene fire extinguisher, a brass one, and that was stamped with British Rail, designed specifically for them. So just a little bit of railway honour there. Okay, moving down to the next shelf, we've got the first of the locos there. So that's a GWR pannier tank, 060, and that's the first loco that I bought when I got back into model railways, and it's the loco that I had as a child, and that sort of got me back into it. Grabbed this, ended up getting a second one, ended up getting more locos, and I was sort of back into the hobby again. Okay, then we've just got again some sort of railway paraphernalia. So various BR logo items there. So there's buttons and tokens and sort of guards uniform badges. I've got a couple of tickets for Barton upon Humber and so on. Also got an Eastern Region timetable for 1959, and that sort of gives me details about what trains actually did run to Barton upon Humber at that stage. I got a guard's whistle and that sort of thing. Okay, so moving on to the second shelf there. Again, at the back we've got another GWR 060 pannier tank. I got a couple of those when I first got back into the model railways. Okay, then we have Meg Merrilies, Class A1, and I'll actually run this loco as a preservation loco. It has some significance to me to do with our family. Yeah, so I'll run that on the modern layout, but as a preservation loco. It actually got scrapped in, I think, 62. But I'll sort of pretend that it hadn't been. It was one of the ones that was preserved, and I'm going to run that with some Pullman coaches. So I grabbed a full rake of the ones with the illuminated table lamps there, and probably run that with a dummy West Coast Rail Company 57 or 47 at the back of that. Okay, then we've got a J11, so that's I believe it's a Bachmann J11, and there's some precedence for these were running in North Lincolnshire, where Barton upon Humber is based. And certainly they're in nearby stations, and there's always a chance that they might have run into Barton upon Humber as well. Then we've got one of the new Hornby N2s. It's DCC ready. Hornby only do the N2, whereas I would really like to be able to get hold of an N5. The only N5 that are around though by a kit called by somebody called McGowan, but they're quite hard to come by and sort of go for lots of money. And then I've got the skills of actually trying to put it together anyway. So there were precedents that the N5s went to Barton upon Humber. The N2s are fairly similar to them because I wasn't able to get an N5. So I've grabbed one of these to represent that. If we move down to the next shelf, we've actually got another N2 there. This is the one by Dapol. This is not DCC ready. I grabbed this one originally, but then Hornby brought out their version of the N2. So I grabbed one of those as well. Just makes it a lot easier to fit the DCC and so on, and it's just a little bit better in terms of detailing and so on as well. This is the first Dapol loco that I bought, and yes, it's quite nice. Okay, then at the back there we've actually got a Grange class. I collect that era a little bit, but not that region, which is on the west coast. The reason I have this Loco is because I needed these two coaches that come with it. They're actually suburban coaches. Despite the fact they are suburban coaches, they seem to have some sort of precedence that they did go to Barnet upon Humber pulled by the N5s. So I wanted to grab a hold of a couple of those coaches, and the best deal that I could get came with the Loco, so I've sort of got a spare Loco there. Okay, then right down the bottom just a little bit more paraphernalia, so there's a British Rails telephone there, and a British Rails calculator, and a 17th century token from Barnet upon Humber. Okay, so that's basically all the Steam collection that I've got there. As I say, I've only got a small sort of fleet of Steam. I don't particularly collect that era, but with 1959, although there were diesel shunters operating and there were diesel DMUs coming into Barnet upon Humber station, there was still a small amount of our Steam that sort of also pulled in as well. So there seemed to be some evidence that we were still getting the coaches with Steam, and it looks like maybe some of the freight stock actually used to get pulled in by Steam and then sort of manhandled and shunted around the yard by the little diesel Loco once there. So there's that sort of crossover period between Steam and diesel that's interesting at the end of the 50s, early 60s. So hence I have a little bit of our Steam there. That's my fleet. Hope everybody's had a good Christmas. Have a great New Year. And for those people that have already had New Year, Happy New Year. I guess the people in Australia and New Zealand, it's already happened for them. It's all happening for this evening for us. So yeah, Happy New Year. Hope you had a good Christmas, and bye for now.